What is up, guys? Back like we never left. It's Double Move Sports. And I'm excited, Alex. Today we have another mock draft. Say what's up to the people, my guy.
Dude, I'm excited too because last mock draft we did was our first of the year. We made it really hard on ourselves, and we draft from the 10 spot, making it a little bit easier this time and drafting from the 4 position. Maybe we can grab one of those elite running backs at the start of the draft. I'm excited to see what kind of team we end up with, Steph.
Let's do it. Let's hop into it here. Guys, standard rosters. This is a 2020 redraft mock. It is a PPR, and we have 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, and a flex. So pretty standard. We're drafting from the 4th spot, and at the 104, it's pretty chalk here to start our draft. So we got Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, Ezekiel Elliott. That is exactly what I would do at all of those spots. So now here we are at the 104. It's a pretty easy pick for me. Alex, who do you think we go with here? It's got to be Kamara, right?
It's easy for me too. You know I love Kamara. He's in that top running back tier, a guy who legitimately could finish in the top 2 or 3. Love McCaffrey, Barkley, Elliott. But, I mean, there's a reasonable outcome where Kamara is in the mix with those guys at the end of the season as far as who scored the most fantasy points. Steph, we've talked time and time again how important it is this year to load up on running backs early. That elite tier drops off quickly where there's a lot of decent wide receivers later on. So it's a smash pick. It's Alvin Kamara. And if that happens with me in my draft, I'm feeling great heading into the rest of it with a stud like that.
Yep, so we'll smash Kamara here at the 104. And, I mean, we know instantaneously because he's done it every other year. I know this in my expert fantasy analysis because he's gotten 81 receptions Kamara has
It's a lock.
over the last 3 seasons. That means he's going to do it again. No
Exactly
question.
81. So we got not 82. Exactly 81.
Exactly 81. After we took Kamara at the 104, it also looks pretty chalk here. We got Michael Thomas at the 105, Dalvin Cook after him at the 106, then Devonta Adams, Derrick Henry, Joe Mixon, Julio Jones, Kenyon Drake, Austin Eckler.
Back to the first round.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dude, Drake is creeping up in these drafts. He went at the 111 here. I feel like people would reach for him even at the 109, 110. And then we had Austin Eckler, Nick Chubb taken at the turn. Miles Sanders, so somebody's pairing Drake with Sanders there at the 111 and 202. I think that is a great running back core to start off with. Then we got Tyreek Hill coming off the board, DeAndre Hopkins, Aaron Jones, Chris Godwin, Josh Jacobs, Leonard Fournette, and then back to us here at the 209. Sadly, Josh Jacobs did not fall to us. That would have been an easy shoe in there. But let's see who is available on the board.
Wow. So at the running back position, we're looking at Clyde Edwards-Helaire or Todd Gurley are really the 2 options if we want to do that double running back stack. At the receiver spot, a lot of upside guys here. Kenny G, Allen Robinson, Mike Evans, Juju, even DJ Moore. And Steph, the sleeping giant at tight end is Travis Kelce, man. I said it on our last mock. Mid to late second round, if Travis Kelce's on the board, it's tempting for me. You know, I mock draft to try to figure out if I do take Kelce here, what happens later on. Steph, I'm going to give this pick to you, but I'm just going to say if it were me, I'd take Kelce. I also could see the case for one of those receivers or even Hilaire or Gurley.
So look, I really do think there is a world where George Kittle actually falls to us here at the 304. Potentially
maybe.
even Lamar Jackson or Mahomes here. I'm not ready at this point to burn a tight end or quarterback pick here with my selection. So look, you know I'm a big CEH truther. I've already made my case time and time again on this show. I think he could finish as high as top 5. You look at him from an analytics and measurables perspective, this guy's literally Mark Ingram, but like 10 times faster. And add that into the fact that he's on the Chiefs, and he's been fantastic, has the pedigree to go with it. And you look at people comp to LSU last year, they had all these speedsters on the outside and Joe Burrow. I see that offense translating really well for Hilaire, where the boxes aren't going to be stacked. Everyone's going to try to keep up with the wide receivers and the speedsters that they have. McCole Hardman, Tyreek Hill, even Sammy Watkins will draw attention at times. And then you add Kelce into the mix too. So I love CEH here. I know it might be a risky pick to some who think he might get eased into the offense. To me, I'm not scared of Damian Williams, who was fighting for carries with LaShawn McCoy. To me, this is easily CEH. And I love him here as a pick in the second round. We can maybe hedge a little bit later if we are worried that he's going to get slowly worked into the offense in the shortened offseason. But for me, I'm going to take CEH, and I feel fantastic about that.
I'll give this one to you, Steph. I mean, look, we're getting him as the 15th running back off the board in a full PPR mock. I believe both of us actually have him in front of that in our rankings and definitely the consensus as well. So, look, we're starting out with Kamara and CEH, two pass-catching backs in good offenses. I'm feeling great about this draft so far. Oh, there goes Kelsey and Kittle. Would have loved to try out one of those guys, but maybe next time. I will say, look, Kelsey off the board at the 210. Right after him, his buddy Patrick Mahomes at the 211. Adam Thielen at the 212. That's hot. That is a hot take. And then in the third round, Kittle at the 301, Gurley at the 302, Mike Evans at the 303. Steph, it looks like a couple of those elite wide receivers actually made it back to us here.
Yeah, let's see who's on the board. So at running back, we've dropped a tier pretty far. We got Melvin Gordon, Chris Carson, Le'Veon Bell, James Conner, David Johnson, Jonathan Taylor, Mark Ingram. At wide receiver, some pretty interesting names here. We got Kenny Golladay, Allen Robinson, Juju Smith-Schuster, DJ Moore. At tight end, we did not grab one. Zach Ertz and Mark Andrews are there, but I'm not looking at either of those names at this point in the third round. And I'm actually going to try to convince you here because I think your pick is going to be Robinson or Golladay. Am I right?
Yes, absolutely right.
So look, here's my rule for this season. If Lamar Jackson falls past the 301, I'm taking him.
Oh, wow.
Not only as just for the points that he is going to put up, I think he could actually exceed what he did last year from a points perspective. I think the offense is only going to improve. And I know you might hate the early quarterback pick here, but honestly, I see him as a value when we're looking at, Mahomes already off the board. He's not going to fall. Lamar's not going to fall back to us here. We're in the early third round. I don't hate the Kenny Golladay or Allen Robinson pick. I think those are fantastic picks. I think Allen Robinson could finish as like the wide receiver 6.
Yeah, I think I have him at wide receiver 6 and wide receiver 7 in my rankings right now.
So look, let's go Golladay here. I love taking Lamar Jackson there. If this was just my draft, I think I would pull the trigger.
Let's do it. Let's take Lamar. This is a mock draft. Let's preface it with this. If this were Steph's draft, this is a value for him for Lamar. If this was my draft, I love a lot of the quarterbacks later on, so I'm going to wait. But this is a mock draft. Why don't we take Lamar Jackson here, see what the team looks like. We punted on the tight end last round. I'm glad we took the running backs when we did because there has been a pretty big tier break there at the running back spot. I know there will be good receivers to get back to us, and we can maybe piece together like a DJ Chark and a T.Y. Hilton as our 2 wide receivers with Lamar Jackson at quarterback. So let's take Lamar here just to kind of roll the dice and see what our team looks like if we do go quarterback in the third round. If the team sucks, that's going to teach us and everyone listening a lesson to wait on a quarterback. But if our team looks good, maybe this is that point where you take that value. So let's do it. Lamar is our man. We're huge Lamar Jackson fans here on the show. I'm excited to have him on the squad.
That's another thing too. Like just from I want to enjoy the fantasy season. I want to have something to root for every single week. Being able to watch Lamar and get excited every time he has one of those incredible highlight reel type of plays, it's just going to be more fun for our season. So let's take Lamar here and see what happens. And so far you've conceded to me on 2 out of the 3 picks. So I got to concede to you later on, which I'm kind of scared about because I feel like we're going to take Tyler Higbee in the 5th round. We'll see if that happens here. So let's pause real quick. Our current roster is Lamar Jackson, Alvin Kamara, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
That team is electric that we've got. Wow. So this concerns me. There was a massive insanely crippling, rip my heart out receiver run that just went down. Oh my gosh. So
you knew it was going to happen.
Kenny G, DJ Moore, Allen Robinson, Amari Cooper, Juju, all right after us. Then we see Zach Ertz, OBJ, and Chris Carson round out the 3rd round. In the 4th round, Ridley, Kupp, Robert Woods, Keenan Allen, Cortland Sutton, Le'Veon Bell, Mark Andrews, and T.Y. Hilton. So 12 receivers off the board in just, 16 picks? That hurts, Steph. Who's left for us at wide receiver?
Yeah, let's take a look at who's here. We got to grab a receiver at this point.
Best available wide receiver. Unfortunately, one of the guys sitting there at the top is A.J. Brown, who I'm out on this year. I wish we could have traded him out for like a Robert Woods, but it just didn't fall that way. There still are some names here I like. I see Parker, Lockett, Chark, McLaurin, even Diggs, Metcalf aren't bad. For me, I think, this is kind of a toss-up. Let me check my rankings. I think I have Chark the highest of the bunch. I don't feel great. Actually, I have Lockett the highest of the bunch. So I'm okay with Lockett. I'm okay with Chark. And then maybe if McLaurin gets back to us, I'd like him in the next round. But my pick here would probably be Tyler Lockett.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to point out here. Both you and I, which very rarely do we actually agree in our census rankings, we actually agree on Tyler Lockett. We both have him pretty high compared to his ADP. We have him at the wide receiver 15. Both of us do, making him the census wide receiver 13 per Double Move Sports rankings. You can check those out on our website. We'll link them in the description down below. It's just doublemovesports.com. But I think I'm okay taking Tyler Lockett here as a wide receiver 1. He's been incredibly efficient his whole career. I think this year, and I know we probably say this every single year, this is the year that Russell Wilson's going to get higher passing volume. I really see it breaking down that way, especially if Chris Carson goes down early, they don't have Rashad Penny. I could easily see this being more of an air it out type of offense compared to the last couple of years. So I like Tyler Lockett here. I know a hot take for many is that DK Metcalf is actually going to finish higher than Tyler Lockett, but I'll take Tyler Lockett as just kind of the safe, known commodity of those two names that's sitting on the board. Hopefully one of these names, specifically Chark or McLaurin, can fall back to us at the 5th. So we'll take, with our first wide receiver and our pick in the 4th round, we'll take Tyler Lockett.
Yeah, don't love Lockett as my wide receiver 1, but when you get Lamar Jackson, that's kind of the premium you pay. Love the running backs we've got. We've got a week-winning quarterback week in and week out. And
I just saw another receiver run,
hurts,
man. This is brutal.
Dude, this is clearly the time to snag your receivers is kind of like round 3 and 4. That seems like when this whole
for sure
tier of like low end wide receiver 1s to all the wide receiver 2s are going off the board. So if you do go running back early, rounds 3 and 4 look like the rounds to go and grab your guys at the receiver position. If you wait, you could be in a situation we're in right now. After us was Melvin Gordon, AJ Brown, and AJ Green. The color rush team there with Brown and Green going after us, and then Devontae Parker, DK Metcalf, and DJ Chark
one pick
start
away.
out the 5th round. So a lot of those guys we were thinking about last round. I think McLaurin might still be on the board. I know I'm really high on McLaurin this year. Steph, I know you kind of like him as well. As a wide receiver 2, I don't mind McLaurin.
Yeah, let's see who else is on the board. I think there's still some other names that could be interesting to look at. So at tight end, we have Darren Waller, Evan Ingram, Tyler Higbee, Hunter Henry. Of all those names, I'm totally willing to punt the position and grab Mike Gesicki, Noah Fant, Hayden Hurst, Gronk, any of those names later on. At running back, we have James Conner, David Johnson, Jonathan Taylor. He's sitting there. He's an interesting one, and we could pair him with CEH to get that rookie dominant stack.
Based on how we've drafted, we've pigeonholed ourselves. If we don't take a receiver here, we're looking at like Will Fuller or Brandon Cooks as our wide receiver 2, and I know me and you both have had traumatizing experiences with Will Fuller, so we're going to pass on that.
Yeah, I think we do have to go receiver. There are interesting names here to me at running back. Like, I love Mark Ingram there. Maybe if we hadn't taken Lamar and had a better wide receiver, we grab Ingram as that 3rd running back in our core.
No, we wouldn't. We wouldn't if I'm a part of this
fine. We grab David Montgomery then, and we settle somewhere in the middle.
Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, well, that'd be the fun one to take at this point. So maybe, hindsight's 2020. Maybe we do that. But I think we can both agree here on McLaurin. I think we both agree he has wide receiver 1 upside. I think we just recorded a show you guys will be hearing here pretty soon, if you haven't already, that McLaurin could finish in the top 5. Alex made an incredible take there. Was it top 5 or was it top 10?
It was wide receiver 1. I had him as a top 12. Yeah, we just posted that pod a couple days ago. So if you haven't checked that bold predictions pod out, we drop a lot of hot takes. McLaurin's name was definitely in there. I think Diggs is the other name here I'd consider. New team, a lot of unknowns. How much pass volume is there in Buffalo? John Brown and Beasley are still there. Josh Allen's not that accurate. So because of all those things, I know the Washington situation isn't much better, but McLaurin's the 1, 2, and 3, and maybe 4 option in that offense. A ton of upside, great talent. Let's smash McLaurin here and round out that wide receiver 2 spot.
Yeah, not to harp on this pick too much. I know we grabbed him last time in our previous mock. We have Stephon Diggs as our census wide receiver 24 and McLaurin as our wide receiver 20. So just in our personal rankings, we'll take the McLaurin pick there every day of the week.
Wow, and look, Steph, Tyler Boyd actually made it through this run, and I feel much better about him as like a flex type player. But if we would have wanted to stack a Jonathan Taylor or another running back, that's a guy at wide receiver 2 that doesn't kill you if you really load up on running backs and take a guy like Lamar Jackson early. So let's read off the names of these guys that went off the board. It looks like the receiver run finally ended for us. After McLaurin, David Montgomery, Diggs, David Johnson. So Montgomery goes ahead of Johnson here. Interesting. And in front of guys like Singletary, Connor, and Jonathan Taylor. But after David Johnson, Deshaun Watson, Devin Singletary, James Conner, JT, And Michael Gallup closes out the 5th round. In the 6th, we have Dak, Darren Waller, Mark Ingram at the 603, Josh Allen, Jarvis Landry, Kyler at the 606, behind Josh Allen. That's a hot take. Debo at the 607, and Evan Ingram at the 608. So we are on the clock here. You know, we could wait on a tight end. We could load up on a 3rd running back or fill our flex spot. So really all positions are on the board for us here except quarterback. Russell Wilson's still on the board this late. If we hadn't taken a quarterback, I'm not an early quarterback guy, but even Russell Wilson at this value would be incredibly tempting. But guys on the board are Tyler Boyd at the receiver position. Higbee sticks out to me at the tight end spot. I think we can maybe try to wait. You're gonna kill me if I try to take him here. So we look at running backs: Mostert, Kareem Hunt, Swift, Akers, guys like that. Steph, where are you leaning at this point?
This one's an interesting one. I kind of feel okay taking an upside shot at wide receiver and going with Hollywood Brown. I know that might be a hot take.
You want to stack, don't you?
I think the stack would be nice, but also I just believe in Hollywood Brown this year. I think the volume is going to go up in terms of passing. I think the Ravens are going to be competing in games a little bit more. And, you know, Hollywood Brown had a hurt foot last year. He's playing with a nail in his foot. That was finally removed. And I'm just expecting better overall production from him and more consistent volume. He's certainly going to still be boom bust. Beyond that, I mean, what running back names really stand out to you? We have Raheem Mostert, Kareem Hunt, DeAndre Swift, Cam Akers, James White, Darius Geis, Keyshawn Vaughn. Man, it's tough. I mean, probably the one that I would look at here is Akers and just take an upside shot at running back. We kind of already did that with CEH, so I'm okay to wait a little bit more. I don't want to be the guy that has all the rookie running backs. I think the safe option to kind of shore up this wide receiver core would be Tyler Boyd. What do you think about Tyler Boyd here?
Oh, man, this is tough. Yeah, those running backs don't really stick out to me. I think we can wait and still see who falls to us and get a name as our RB3. That's pretty nice there. At the receiver spot, oh, man, that's tough. I think it would be either Tyler Boyd or Hollywood Brown. I think I want to go Tyler Boyd here. Actually, no, let's go Hollywood Brown. Last mock we did, we ended up with both Boyd and McLaurin. I want to switch it up a little bit. Let's take a little bit more upside in Marquise Brown. They're only 4 spots apart in my rankings, and with Lamar Jackson as our quarterback, I think it would be fun to have Hollywood out there as our flex.
For sure. So let's grab. Oops, I clicked on Boyd, but let's take Hollywood Brown here. So now we're gonna have that Baltimore Ravens stack. That's exciting. I'm pretty pumped up for this team so far. So let's see who goes off the board here.
Flowers
and
again.
Our boy Quentin Flowers keeps coming up, man. What is going on?
Pros, what are you doing? He's moving up ADP, man. Quentin Flowers last time was at like the 8th round. Here he is at the 703. Wow. Quentin Flowers. I got to do my research on this guy. So after
he's
Brown,
the Tampa Bay Vipers starting quarterback, man. He's going to be elite.
He almost went ahead of Russell Wilson.
Quentin Flowers in the 703 is an absolute steal. Okay.
Wow. So after Hollywood, let's read off those picks. I think I saw Tyler Boyd go 1 pick later, and then we saw Cooks go off the board. Russell Wilson at the 612. That's good value for a quarterback. 7th round, Cam Akers and Deontay Johnson, 2 high upside guys, and apparently the highest upside of them all in Quentin Flowers at the 703. So still looking for an explanation from Fantasy Pros. Either he's the most slept on guy out there, or there's a glitch in the system. One of those is more likely than the other. But Steph, who do you think we should take here at the 704?
So let's take a look at who we got at wide receiver. The names are starting to get kind of gross, even though there's a few upside shots I like. So Julian Edelman, Marvin Jones, Will Fuller, Christian Kirk, John Brown, Jamison Crowder. At running back, which is where I think we should be looking here at this point. I'm not looking at quarterback again until essentially my last pick. We may look at some tight ends here, but at running back, we have Raheem Mostert, Kareem Hunt, DeAndre Swift, James White, Darius Geis, Keyshawn Vaughn, Tariq Cohen. Now, of those names, is there a standout to you? I think for me, it would be Kareem Hunt, potentially Mostert, but I don't know.
Don't sound so confident, Steph.
I'm not. I am not at all. Who do you got?
Well, I just have to mention that Tyler Higbee's on the board, and we don't have to pick him here. We'll wait on tight end, but if he comes back around to us, we're smashing the Tyler Higbee pick. I love Tyler Higbee. If this was me, I probably would have taken him last round, but I think we do take a running back, especially because CEH, as a rookie, might take him a couple weeks to get worked in. Who really knows? Yeah, for me, it's Mostert or Hunt. Mostert I'm actually not too high on, but in the 7th round is decent value. So I don't mind the Mostert pick, but if this is me, I'm probably going Kareem Hunt, to be honest with you. Hunt is a player who has some standalone value in Cleveland. If, we're on bye weeks or whatever it is, we can plug in Kareem Hunt, and he's a fine flex fill-in or a running back 2 fill-in or whatever during bye weeks. But Hunt's also a league winner if something happens to Nick Chubb. If Chubb misses any time, Hunt is an immediate RB1. We know he has the talent. He'd have a ton of opportunity in Cleveland. So I'm fine with Hunt here. He has high potential, but he also provides us some baseline value. And in the 7th round as an RB3, I think it's a great pick.
Yeah, I think we'll go Hunt here. Something interesting, I tried to look over at our census rankings to see if we had one of these guys higher than the rest. Oddly enough, Kareem Hunt is our consensus RB27, and Raheem Mostert is our consensus RB28. So back-to-back in our rankings, but Hunt is one spot higher, so we'll take him here at this point. Just kind of shore up that RB core, and like you said, could be a league-winning pick should he take over, or even if that volume just skyrockets with Stefanski there at Cleveland. So,
oh, baby. I know who our pick is.
Oh, man. All right, your boy Tyler Higbee made it back.
Wow, go ahead and he made it to the 809. Incredible.
Dude, you gotta punt the tight end this year. I really do believe that. But after we took Kareem Hunt,
I think punting to the 8th round is a decent punt. I mean, look at our team. Yeah. We were able to grab Lamar Jackson early, and we have Kamara and CEH at running back. Awesome. With Kareem Hunt as some depth there. And then the receiver spot, Lockett and McLaurin are both in the wide receiver 2 range, but given the talent we have at the top of our roster, it's not bad. And then Hollywood Brown as a flex is great. So after Kareem Hunt, let's go ahead and read who came off the board. It was Breeze, Brady, a couple Hall of Fame quarterbacks there, Edelman, Marvin Jones, John Brown, Matt Ryan, Aaron Rodgers. So this was like the round of the Hall of Fame quarterbacks. We had Drew Brees, Brady, Matt Ryan, Aaron Rodgers, and even Quentin Flowers was earlier in that round. So then Jamison Crowder at the 7-12. 8th round, we saw Cohen, Will Fuller, James White, Christian Kirk, Mostert, Swift, Dobbins, and Darrell Henderson. So we're here at the 809. Steph, just for the sake of it, let's see who's there at the running back and receiver spot, even though we're probably going to go Higbee here.
So at running back, we have Darius Guice, Keyshawn Vaughn still there, Matt Breida, Phillip Lindsay, Sony Michel, Jordan Howard. At wide receiver, we have Sterling Shepard, Anthony Miller, Darius Slayton, Mike Williams, Emmanuel Sanders. So some pretty gross names at wide receiver. One I would be interested in here, should our roster call for it, would be Darius Slayton. I actually think Sterling Shepard could be a value as well. I mean, you're gambling on his health, but we've seen, if we look at last year when all guys were on the field, Shepard was the alpha, and it's pretty much been like that his whole career. So if he can stay healthy, he is absolutely a flex play, a wide receiver too that you can plug in desperate situations. I love Shepard also as a value, as well as Slayton. I think based on our roster, we do have a lot of upside already there. So I think Shepard would actually make a lot of sense for us. But look, we already talked about it. You love Higbee. If the 12 personnel really is the Rams playbook this entire season, then this is a league-winning pick here with Tyler Higbee in the 8th. So I don't fault you at all for loving him. So let's take it.
I know I've been beating the Tyler Higbee drum for a while now, and we're sitting here at the 809. I can feel the contempt in your voice that I'm making you select Tyler Higbee here. I know you just want to punt the tight end till the last round and grab a Mike Gesicki, but Steph, at the 809, I know you like Higbee enough to tell me that this is a good value on this guy.
It is. And I'm looking at our rankings here. I have him as the tight end 7, which I think is still pretty high. That's right in line with his ADP. You have him at the tight end 5, so a slightly higher bump, kind of like a tier above what everybody else says. But look, Higbee, it's an upside pick, but also a safe pick at the same time. We saw what the Rams are doing the last half of the season, so I really don't mind it. And you are right. It certainly is a value at this point in our draft. So let's smash on Higbee here. I'm pretty excited to have him on the roster. Now, both quarterback and tight end spots have been taken for us, so we can focus on
let's build that depth.
Building the depth at the other positions. I was sad to see Ronald Jones just went right there after we took Higbee at the 809. We had Emmanuel Sanders, Jerry Jeudy at the 810, Matt Breida, Ronald Jones. Would have loved to have him fall to us here at the 904, but then Darius Slayton went off the board. Sad about that one too, and then Keyshawn Vaughn at the 903. So now back to us at the 904.
Steph, real quick, Ronald Jones at the 901, Keyshawn Vaughn 2 picks later at the 903.
Yeah.
Is it am I the only one that thinks it's absolutely absurd that Keyshawn Vaughn and Ronald Jones have just about the same ADP? For me, I'm taking Ronald Jones 10 times out of 10 over third-round pick Keyshawn Vaughn.
I am too. I mean, even think back, Bruce Arians doesn't like rookie running backs. He really doesn't. It took David Johnson seemingly like a season and a half to even get on the field when he was so explosive, was playing so well. Same for Ronald Jones last year. And I just don't see, like, if we're going to take Ronald Jones off the field for dropping pass pro, then the same thing's going to happen for Keyshawn Vaughn.
Right.
That's a rookie with a smaller build, and Jones is fast as hell. So I really do like Jones a lot. I would have probably taken him.
Jones will be getting the touchdowns too, right?
He has to. I mean, yes, the check down volume will be there from Brady, but there's no guarantee that happens. Plus, he's splitting it with Dare Ogunbowale. It just, look, I totally get the upside shot on Vaughn at 903. I would have taken Jones a lot higher there. This is one of those polarizing, backfields that we're gonna have to sort through all offseason long and preseason.
Probably all season long too.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, it could be one of those that we're just it's in the flex questions every single week, Jones or Vaughn. But interesting to see their ADPs are even here. So look, looking at the names that are here, I believe Sterling Shepard's gonna fall back to us. Let's take a look at who else is there. Wow. Okay, so there's actually.
There's a guy I know you're going to talk about, Stef. Wow. And I can't fault you for it. I'll give it to you. Go ahead.
Guys. Look, Darius Guys, I think if he's healthy, he's a running back too. I really do. But the thing is, I feel pretty good about our running back core. There may be other names that I'd look at, like Jordan Howard, who may even fall to us. Even looking at like Tevin Coleman could be a value. Kerryon Johnson could be a value for at least early on in the season. Again, we're trying to hedge against Clyde Edwards-Helaire being worked in the offense, and we already have Kareem Hunt. It's just kind of the safe running back option to end out our RB core. What do you think about going Sterling Shepard at this point?
Oh, man. Let's see. Here's the thing.
I know you're going to say CeeDee Lamb, I think.
No, let's think about this. I mean, at receiver, we're looking for a wide receiver 4 and a running back 4. There's a couple names there we like. There's Geis. I hate Geis, actually. But Geis, I get the value here. I understand. And then there's, Jordan Howard. Damian Williams might have some appeal, considering we have CEH as like a handcuff. Kerryon, Marlon Mack, Tevin Coleman, kind of same tier of guys. Latavius Murray maybe with Alvin Kamara. I think one of those guys gets back to us next round at the receiver spot. Also, some names you like here, Sterling Shepard, Anthony Miller, upside shots on these rookies later on. I think there's a decent chance at either spot that a guy we like gets back to us next round. So I'm with you. Our running backs are a little bit more stacked on the top of the roster. Let's take a guy in Sterling Shepard that should see consistent target volume and could have some consistent flex value if he can stay healthy.
Cool. So let's take Shepard there.
And it prevents us from having to take Darius Geis, which I promised myself I wouldn't do at any point this year. So that's good
It's
news.
just such a gamble on the health, and it's so tempting, especially when we're hearing like all offseason, oh, Geis is healthy again. He's posting workout videos on Twitter, looking yoked as hell. It's just
so that did happen. I saw a video of Geis squatting like 500 and something pounds.
Dude, he's legit.
I swear I thought it was a dream because there's no way this is real. And I was actually going to bring it up that I thought I saw that, but I thought it wasn't real. I literally thought I dreamed it, and that was like my subconscious telling me to take a gamble on Geis. But I'm preventing myself from believing it. I'm still not doing it, Steph. Let's go Sterling Shepard.
Let's go Shepard here. And I already know our next round. This is the year at round 10, no matter what, I'm looking at high-value handcuffs, quarterback upside shots. Since we already took Lamar Jackson, we're not looking at one here. Let's hope that Latavius Murray falls back to us here.
Perfect.
And he does. So let's go ahead and just
Thank
smash
you, fantasy
Murray.
pros.
Yeah, let's just go ahead and take Murray. I don't think they're
So it looks like we had Sony Michel, Justin Jefferson, Geis at the 907, Henry Ruggs, Anthony Miller, Phillip Lindsay, CeeDee Lamb, Damian Williams at the 912, and then the 10th round, Tevin Coleman at the 1001, Jordan Howard at the 1002. Both awesome values. I have them around running back 30 each, I think. I think I have Tevin Coleman as the running back 30, Jordan Howard as the running back 32. So in the 10th round, that's great value for guys who should get work. And we saw Kerryon Johnson, Mike Williams, Gronk, Hunter Henry, Marlon Mack, and Antonio Gibson at the 1008.
Wow.
Hot take. Must have been Mike Lou.
That hype train is rolling for Antonio Gibson right now. It's such a gross situation. I can't do it. But let's go ahead and grab Latavius Murray here. We'll shore up Alvin Kamara if something happens to him, and especially in this kind of weird, wacky, delayed season, COVID season. Let's just take Latavius Murray and feel really, really safe about having Kamara.
That feels great.
And that was at the 10:09 too. So back of the 10th, we'll see who falls to us here. I was sad to see that Hayden Hurst was just sniped from us. But now I think this is the point where we can be looking at running backs and wide receivers exclusively. So after we took Latavius, We had the San Francisco defense going at the 10-10. McCole Hardman at the 10-11.
Carson Wentz.
T. Higgins at the 10-12. Zach Moss to start off the 11th round. And then Hayden Hurst at the 11-02. I think that is a fantastic value here. Love that pick at the 11-02, Hayden Hurst.
Talk about value.
And then Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz at the 11-03 blows my mind.
See, I feel like this is actually going to happen. This is kind of
goodness.
becoming a recurring theme now. In all these drafts, there's usually a name.
The 12th quarterback off the board. Wow.
I mean, we saw this last time with Aaron Rodgers falling to the 12th. It seems like, yes, these are simulated mock drafts, so maybe it is different than what could happen in real life, but I tend to think it's not too different than something we might see, which is one of these quarterbacks is just going to fall stupid far, and we can just grab them late.
And you won't get your pick, but you'll get a veteran value.
Yeah, you're going to get like a Carson Wentz, a Drew Brees, a Matt Stafford at some point. So let's see who else is on the board here. At running back, we have Duke Johnson, Alexander Mattison, Nyheim Hines, Tony Pollard, Boston Scott, who I think is a deep sleeper that I like. And then at wide receiver, we have Golden Tate, Preston Williams. That could be an interesting upside shot. Robbie Anderson, Jalen Reagor, Alshon Jeffrey, Curtis Samuel, Brashad Perriman, and a bunch of other names in there. Deshaun Jackson a little bit farther down. N'Keal Harry, who I like is a really, really deep sleeper that could take over as the one in New England, but how much do you really value that? At quarterback, just out of my own curiosity, Matt Stafford, Daniel Jones, Baker Mayfield, Big Ben, all there still. So if we didn't take Lamar, this is probably the time where I would take a Matt Stafford, or even like an Aaron Rodgers, or even Carson Wentz if he'd fallen to us. Austin Hooper.
Yeah, I've never seen Wentz fall that far. I wonder if the injury to their All-Pro guard or their Pro Bowl guard and then the Alshon Jeffrey injury news is pushing him down a little bit. It's interesting.
Yeah, for sure. It could, honestly. And we have the recency bias, I feel like, with any headline that comes out these days, just because there's not that many headlines coming out. We're fiending for every headline we can possibly get our hands on. But at tight end, we have Austin Hooper, Jared Cook, Mike Gesicki, Noah Fant. This is the spot where if we didn't grab Higbee, I'm looking at those names here in the 11th round. But, Alex, who's your pick out of these upside shots at wide receiver and running back?
I'm probably going running back here. There's still a couple names I like. Alexander Mattison, Tony Pollard, I think are two of the highest value handcuffs in the NFL. Maybe outside of Latavius Murray, we already scooped him up. So I'm fine. Actually, I probably would go Mattison here. At the time of this recording, Dalvin Cook is still unsigned and is still planning on holding out. So with the holdout in mind, with his injury history in mind, with the situation with COVID this season in mind, there's a chance Alexander Mattison is going to get some starts and going to have some standalone value for a few weeks. So for me, it's Mattison. I think we can come back and get one of those receivers next round and kind of take an upside flyer there.
Yeah, I really like Preston Williams here. The fact that we took Latavius last round, like handcuffs are tremendously valuable, but they're guys, I mean, at this point, we're going to cut a lot of these names anyways as the season goes on, but why not just shoot our shot early, kind of beat everyone to the waiver wire should some of these names still be there. So let's go ahead and smash on Madison. You've conceded enough picks to me today, so let's take Alexander Mattison at the 11:04.
Right. Maybe, who knows, maybe Preston will make it back. Maybe we'll get lucky.
We might.
Things have been going our way today, and it looks like they did one more time.
So after we took Madison at the 11:04, we had Austin Hooper, Michael Pittman at the 11:06. I love that upside shot there, especially that late in a draft. Duke Johnson at the 11:07, Pittsburgh Steelers defense. Jared Cook, Golden Tate, Jalen Reagor, Jonnu Smith, Alan Lazard, Tony Pollard, Matt Stafford at the 12:03. We took him in the 10th round in a previous draft. So got to love that pick for Stafford. Nyheim Hines, Boston Scott, Noah Fant at the 12:06. Would have loved to have that if we did not grab Higbee. Justin Jackson at the 12:07. Ryan Tannehill at the 12:08. So let's see who's still here. I think primarily we're looking at wide receiver. And Preston Williams is still
Preston
there.
Williams made it back. This makes this easy. No need to overdo it, overthink it. Let's just take Preston Williams.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll smash on Williams. I'm sure he'll come up in some episodes we'll do later on, especially as a deep sleeper name. He was fantastic last year, even with splitting targets with Parker early on. Williams is one of those guys that he flashed, and if he comes back and he can continue what he was doing, we just got an absolute steal here at the very, very end of our draft at the 12:09.
So we have our last bench spot in our DST. We'll save DST for the last round. We might not even pick one here on the mock, but this is our last positional pick here, Steph. And after Williams, just so everyone knows, Chase Edmonds, Anthony McFarland, Alshon Jeffrey off the board. Big Ben, Carlos Hyde, and Danny Dimes at the 1303. Love
Wow.
Daniel Jones. Talked about him as well on our most recent episode. So go back to last episode, our bold predictions, and check that out if you haven't already. But at the 1304, we've got, it looks like 5 running backs. No, 1, 2, I can't count. 1, 2, oh, yeah, we do have 5 running backs. 5 receivers. We have, 1 tight end, 1 quarterback. So really everything is fair game here, Steph. Last pick of the draft. This is one of those spots where you're taking a flyer on someone's upside. If they suck, you drop them. If they don't, you have a head start on waivers or maybe a really good trade chip. So anybody in mind here, Steph, that pops out to you as like a super long shot, a super deep shot, but maybe they pop off week 1 or 2 and we get some value?
Yeah, easy one to me here would be Joe Burrow. Just the fact that we have Lamar, like, dude, we could have 2 dominant quarterbacks.
But why do you need
that? That's the thing. That really is the thing. We really don't need that now. I'm really not worried. I think the Lamar runs a lot, so he's going to get injured. That take is so overblown. These guys who run, like, people look at like Cam Newton. Cam Newton got injured bending over to pick up a fumble. RG3 tore his ACL getting hit in the pocket. Like, these are just weird things that, like, these Russian quarterbacks actually don't get hurt that much. Lamar's pretty good about getting out of bounds. So I'm not looking at it from that perspective at all whatsoever. Some other running back names here. I don't think I'm taking a running back at this point just because it's like insta cut for any of these names. AJ Dillon, Adrian Peterson, Jamal Williams, Rashad Penny, Darrington Evans, Gio Bernard, Raekwell
There's
Armstead.
one guy.
There's one guy
I know you like could get
Raekwell.
value before the season, and it's Raekwell. The thing is, by the time you're drafting, maybe there's going to be more clarity to the Leonard Fournette situation and whether or not he's 100% going to be on the team this year. I think that's kind of the consensus belief. But Raekwell Armstead, I've said it before, trade cuts possible for Fournette. Definitely not likely, but it's possible. So if there's one of these guys that could skyrocket in value before the season or in week 1 or 2, maybe Raekwell Armstead. But let's check out those receivers as well. I know we both like Brashad Perriman.
So one more real quick while we're talking about running backs. I do see Joshua Kelly, the running back that the LA Chargers drafted. His ADP is extremely low, at least in this cheat sheet that we're looking at. He's at the RB70. He could actually be one. Like, who knows? Maybe he pops off, so that could be a deep shot here that we take. But who are you liking at receiver? There's really 2 names that stand out to me.
Yeah, Brashad Perriman's 1. And maybe Brandon Ayuk is the 2nd. Deebo Samuel had that foot injury. He might be out for the start of the season. If he does play, he could be kind of hobbled. So Brandon Ayuk, I know rookies normally take a while to get involved, but by default, Ayuk might get more snaps and targets than we think in week 1 or 2. And he might have a chance to carve out a role in that offense early on. So I'm willing to maybe take the deep shot on Ayuk there. If not, I'd probably go Brashad Perriman or Raekwell Armstead here.
Let me run a couple other names by you, and just so everybody can kind of see where we're at on some of these names. So N'Keal Harry's still here. I'm not touching Sammy Watkins with a 10-foot pole. Denzel Mims is still on the board. If we want to take a shot on another rookie that could has a clear path to some target share. Some other ones here that would be Randall Cobb, which I know is disgusting, but who really is that alpha?
Who knows who's going to be the wide receiver 1 in Houston? Who knows? He got a decent
he got
contract.
a 3-year, $27 million deal, which is incredible for him. Shout out to Randall Cobb's agent there. And then,
yeah, good for him.
And
Well
Deshaun
done.
Watson, I don't have the numbers put up in front of me. He does enjoy targeting the slot. We've always liked Kiki Hute as a break kick candidate, as somebody who's fitting into that slot role for the Houston Texans. But another one that's exciting to me is John Ross. If we want to take the shot that John Ross could be what he was at the beginning of the year last year when he was healthy, he's one I'd actually be willing to take the shot on here. Maybe we could even take a defense and grab John Ross on the next round if we wanted it to be our last ditch, absolute final pick that we get. I kind of like your case there for Ayuk, and from where we're sitting right now, we don't know what Deebo Samuel's situation is going to be, and Deebo hasn't exactly been the pinnacle of good health his career thus far. So I don't mind Ayuk there. Alex, what are your final thoughts on this?
Yeah,
one?
let's take Ayuk. But one last thing, I just want to talk about the quarterback position. I think I saw guys like Baker Mayfield and Jared Goff on the board. I know we took Lamar early, so I don't want to take them here. But if you literally wait till your last round of the draft, you can snag. Look, Baker, Jared Goff, Joe Burrow, Kirk Cousins. These are guys who should have decent starting or streaming value this year. I know we both like Baker to have a better year than last season for sure. So I don't mind those names. If you want to totally punt the quarterback position, I love taking 2 late. Maybe you go with Stafford or Daniel Jones, who we both advocated for. And then you round it out with a Baker or a Jared Goff and kind of stream on matchup, or a Joe Burrow. I see you highlighting Joe Burrow, Steph. You're not slick. So I just wanted to call that out. Look at the names on the board. It's interesting. But let's go ahead and take Ayuk and close this thing out.
All right, let's do it. And where'd he go? I lost him in the sea of names here. There he is. Yeah, if this really was my draft, I'm taking Burrow there every single day of the week. The thing is, I'm worried in the leagues that we play in where guys take shots on quarterbacks super, super early because they know the value is there. I don't know if Burrow is actually going to fall to me in any of these real-life drafts. So let's recap our team. I'm feeling really good about this squad. We have Lamar Jackson at quarterback. So that's already an advantage week over week at the quarterback position. We have Alvin Kamara as our RB1, Clyde Edwards-Helaire as our RB2. I feel great about our starting running back core that we have. And then at wide receiver, Tyler Lockett, Terry McLaurin as our starting 2 wide receivers. And then we also have Sterling Shepard, Preston Williams, and Brandon Ayuk there. So a couple deep upside shots to pair.
And Hollywood Brown.
And Hollywood Brown. How could I forget him as well? So I feel great about, just kind of week over week. Like, we can look at the matchups and plug one of those guys in. I think Lockett is a start every week guy. If McLaurin pans out, that could be a league-winning pick there. And then Tyler Higbee at tight end. It sounded like I was dogging him on our last mock. I really do like the value that we got for him at the 809, I believe it was, in this mock. So, yeah, I love Higbee there, man. Really can't falter too much. Other running backs on our roster, Kareem Hunt, Latavius Murray, Alexander Madison. And that's really it. We could take a defense with this last pick here. I know we'll probably just take the Eagles as they have a matchup with the Redskins in week 1. So we'll smash on them. And man, I'm feeling really good about this squad, man. I really do think it is a great roster. Alex, what are your final thoughts here? Any parting words before we sign off on this mock?
Yeah, Steph, I love what we did last time. We talked about if we could do one thing differently, what would it be? I think for me, I love Lamar Jackson as much as the next guy, but I feel a little bit weak at wide receiver for star power. So if I could go back, look, this is why we mock draft. We said it. We wouldn't have probably taken Lamar Jackson in our real mock there, but we did just to see what would happen. And if you could trade me Lamar Jackson and like a Alexander Madison, and I could get Matt Stafford and Kenny G or Allen Robinson, I'm probably taking that all day. So I probably would have taken a receiver there in the 3rd round, but Lamar's fun to watch. It's going to be a blast watching him again this season. So that's why we mock. We figure things out, and that kind of further cements my strategy as a late quarterback guy, and even getting Lamar Jackson in the 3rd round, which seems like a good value. Kind of came back to bite us there. But I do like the team. The running back depth and the star power is great. But Steph, if there was one thing to change, would it be the same for you?
Yeah, it would. And this is actually like, I'm so glad we made this decision, because now this kind of proves our point that we keep preaching every single episode that we hop on, it feels like, is take quarterback late. Would have loved to grab Joe Burrow or even Daniel Jones in those double-digit rounds, and in order to have an Allen Robinson. Like, I think we'd feel so much better about our wide receiver core if we had one of those bigger names in there as opposed to Tyler Lockett. But we got to make do with what we have, and I feel great about streaming the wide receiver 2 position or the flex spot. We already talked about some of those deep shots that we have week in, week out during this season. So, who knows? Maybe I'm plugging Russell Gage in there at wide receiver 2 if Hollywood Brown busters out. Man, I'm excited. Thank you all so much for listening and watching.
Absolutely.
If you're liking the show, please hit that subscribe button on YouTube. It helps us a ton. As always, you can hit us up. Let us know what you think about our team in the YouTube comments, but also on Twitter and Instagram. We're always on there posting polls, communicating with you guys, throwing out our hot takes. Love to read yours as well. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.